Yo, what is up, Mexit Planners? I hope you're having a great day. Today, I wanted to talk to you about owning a car in Mexico. Should you bring yours or should you buy one here? Stay tuned. When we got to Mexico in October of 2018, we had no intentions of owning a car. So why did we buy a car here in Merida, Mexico? Quite simply, it was because of the pandemic. We needed to make sure that we had a way to get around if needed. Now, I didn't realize how world-changing owning a car would be here in Mexico, right? I was so used to not having to drive, get in the car. Sometimes I would actually fall asleep going 10 minutes down the street in an Uber, just because it was, it was a super relaxing, non-stressful situation. So I didn't have to think about what was going on with, the traffic around me or what have you. But I can tell you that since I've purchased a car, it's been amazing. It's been game changing, right? And for a couple of reasons. One of the key reasons that it's been game changing is back when, we were in the height of our quarantine here in Merida, Mexico, Ubers changed their rules, right? You could only ride one person in the back of an Uber at a time. So that absolutely wouldn't work for me and my family where, it's three of us, four of us with our nanny. We couldn't all go to one place in an Uber. In fact, in that type of situation, we would have to take multiple Ubers. And at one point, the Ubers wouldn't even allow kids in them at all, unless you were going to the hospital or some type of medical emergency. And so it was very difficult for people that didn't have a car to get around at the height of the pandemic in an Uber. It became increasingly important for us to be able to travel and move around the city, not on a bike, and also to be able to get around, if we needed to in a particular emergency situation. Even still to this day, there's still a curfew on transportation, and that's whether you ride your car or you're in an Uber. But Ubers stop at like 11 o'clock. There's a curfew of 11:30 to 5 a.m. where everybody is supposed to be off the road, whether it's your personal vehicle or in an Uber. And so, the closer you get to that curfew, it becomes increasingly difficult to get Ubers. Hey y'all, sorry to interrupt your video, but I wanted to give you a brief word of encouragement. In 2018, we were doing the exact same thing you're doing right now. We were watching YouTube video after YouTube video, trying to figure out this Mexico life. So when we got here, we decided to document our process, document our plan, document every single thing that we possibly could to make it a little easier for everybody that came behind us. And so that is documented on MexitPlans.com, our blog. Please consider becoming a MexConnect member and help us keep making great content. All right, now back to your video. A lot of my friends who didn't buy a car, at the height of the pandemic are now purchasing cars because they're just, Ubers are not as convenient as they were before. They're taking 10 to 15 minutes to get one. Yesterday, my wife had the car and I took an Uber to a different location and it took me 15 minutes to get an Uber. So that's 15 minutes you're waiting around, as opposed to last year where you could get an Uber anytime, anywhere for 2 to 3 minutes. One of the biggest benefits I don't think most people consider when having a car is the fact that you can stop and discover new things. So we've been able to discover new neighborhoods, discover new areas that we consider way out, like Caquel and Concal. We've been able to drive out to those areas and it's like, man, this isn't so bad. And having a car just increases your range, if you will, of what you're able to discover within the city. Not to mention that having a car also allows you to stop and discover new stores and things that you pass as you're driving down the street. So in an Uber, that's almost impossible to say, yo, stop, pull over. Whereas when you have your car, you can pull over, check out this new store, check out this new restaurant, and really explore your community or your city that you're moving to. So a couple of things about having a car here in Mexico. One is you don't necessarily need to get a brand new license or Yucatecan license when you first move here. You have the ability to drive on your US or Canadian license here in Mexico. So that makes it really, really easy. I was able to see cars on Wednesday and then drive and have own a car Wednesday night because of that, and start driving the next day. My car insurance is so cheap. How cheap is it, you ask? My car insurance is so cheap. It's for the year, it's less than what I was paying for the month in the United States, in Georgia. Let me repeat that. Car insurance here is so cheap for the year, it's less than what I was paying for the month in Georgia. That's not car insurance, that's all insurance. Take a look at the blog post I have with the interview with the MexPert on insurance, and that applies to health insurance, car insurance, house insurance. All insurance is cheap in Mexico, but particularly your car insurance. The last two things I'll tell you about owning a car here in Mexico that are super positive is that there are so many quality used cars. One of the things that is a little different between Mexico and the United States is that most cars that are purchased brand new here have to be serviced by the dealership in order to maintain the warranty. There's an entire documentation process. There's a book that they have to sign off on, the dealership signs off on, and every single scheduled maintenance must be done at the dealership in order for them to maintain the warranty. So if you buy a 5-year or a 6-year-old car, that car has been maintained entirely at the dealership under the optimal conditions. You don't have to worry about maintenance service records being missed or any of those things. You can get a quality used car that's basically factory serviced the entire time. So that puts it at a higher level than what you would normally get for a used car back in the States, where they may not have, even changed the oil. Here, that all of the maintenance, tire rotations, oil changes, any type of scheduled maintenance, belt changes, all of those things have been done at the dealership in order for them to maintain their warranty. And it's all signed off and documented in a book that you get if you buy from a reputable car dealer. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it added any value into your life, do me a favor. Click on the like button, bang that subscribe button, become a member, get all the updates when we release new content, and leave me a comment. Tell me what I should have covered, some of the questions that you might have about driving here in Mexico or buying a car. Until next time, MexitPlan Monty, I'm out.